You're listening to the ADHD Support Talk Radio podcast. ADHD Support Talk is sponsored by ADDclasses.com. Visit www.addclasses.com to sign up for free webinars today. Well, hello and welcome back to ADHD Support Talk Radio. I am your co-host, Lynne Edris, and I'm a productivity and ADHD coach. I help professionals reduce procrastination, improve time management, and get more done with less effort so that they have more time, more energy, and even more money for what they love most. You can find out more about me and the programs and services I offer at www.coachingaddvantages.com. That's coaching advantages with 2 Ds. And when you sign up there on my website or text the keyword HACK, H-A-C-K, to 444-999, I'll send you my 7 foolproof productivity hacks to help you add hours of free time to your week by investing just a few smart minutes each day. So today, this is kind of fun. I have with me our host and the founder of ADHD Support Talk Radio, Tara McGillicuddy. And Tara is something exciting planned for our tribe. So welcome, Tara.
Thanks for having me. It's really fun and exciting to be on the other side of this and being the one interviewed.
It's fun to have you on the other side of this.
Oh, thank you.
Well, tell us, tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're here to talk with us about today.
Well, I've been involved in the online ADHD community for 20 years now, actually over 20 years now. I got involved starting in 1997, so a couple of decades. And I started helping people with ADHD. I had founded ADHD myself, and at the time, back in 1997, there really wasn't much out there for women with ADHD. The Internet was basically just starting. So around the time the Internet started becoming, the Internet is when I found out I had ADD myself, and there really weren't resources, so I started creating my own, getting involved with other people who had resources, and gradually, 20 years later, I became an ADHD expert, an ADD coach, and provide some helpful ADHD online resources. So that's a bit about me, and I'm here to talk about one of my biggest events, which is the Online ADHD Awareness Expo. And beginning on October 1st, this is going to be the 9th annual Online ADHD Awareness Expo that I'm putting together again.
Wow. That's amazing, and it is a huge event. It really is, and I look forward to it every year. I look forward to participating, but I also look forward to listening and to watching the videos because, I get to hear what some of my colleagues are up to. I get to hear new ideas from new people. I get to hear sometimes, similar concepts framed a different way by someone you haven't heard, express something before can really hit you in a different way. So I find things that help me personally as a woman with ADD myself, but I also find information and tips that help my clients as well. So I know as a woman with ADD myself and a professional who, helps support people with ADHD, I appreciate the Expo tremendously, and I have for a very long time. Probably, back, I don't even know what year I started watching and listening to the Expo, but it's been, way more than a decade. So we appreciate it. The whole community appreciates it.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about, how it got started. What possessed you to take on such a huge undertaking? I mean, the Expo is, I think there are more than 30. I mean, you have quite a large number of people that are participating, and I'm sure it's quite an ordeal to put together.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Well, it started actually back in 2010. I was actually volunteering with somebody at the Attention Deficit Disorder Association at an in-person health and fitness expo. And we had a booth. It was for the Attention Deficit Disorder Association. And, of course, I'm sitting there taking everything in, my creative ADD brain, and I'm like, it would be cool. It would be fun. No one's ever done this. I could make a virtual expo. So I'm like, okay. And back then, not everyone was doing, because, now everyone does telesummits, online conferences. But back in 2010, not a lot of people were doing it. And I started it in the first year. It was just nobody understood what I was doing. Because I'm like, I'm going to take a virtual expo. I had to explain to them what an expo was. It was like a fair. It was this and that. So the first year was like a real learning experience. But I started doing it. The first year I had a co-host and, co-producer with me, and he went on to other things. And, 9 years later, it's the 9th Expo, and it's gradually turned into one of the biggest events. And the majority of people, I get great feedback. It helps people. And one thing that's different than a lot of the online conferences or the online telesummits and all that is each video is short. It's like 10 to 15 minutes because I want it to be ADD or ADHD friendly. And, when you have 30-something speakers or dozens of speakers, it's hard for people to listen to 30 sessions that are half hour or an hour each. So that's one of the things I did is I made the videos short, ADHD friendly or ADD friendly.
And that's huge for the participants, but it keeps us as the speakers, as the presenters on our toes, right? Mm-hmm. So it helps us be more prepared. It helps us be more succinct. It helps us be more sort of clear in the information that we're presenting too.
Mm-hmm. And this year I'm doing something new, or in past years, the Expo has been 1 week long where I get all 30 videos up there in 1 week. And, people, I used to extend, they could listen to it throughout the month. But this year what I'm doing is it's going to be a month long. It's starting October 1st all the way till October 31st, and I'm going to gradually release videos throughout the month. So on October 1st, we'll start with 5 videos from experts, and then every few days we'll release them. So people will have, a full month to listen to them at their own convenience, because, what happens when you're bombarded with all this information, as a person with ADHD, you listen to it so quickly, but you don't really understand it. And this is one of the things I changed this year, is to have it be a full month long and gradually release the videos so people can watch them at their convenience.
I think that's awesome, and it gives people a chance to digest the information without quite as much pressure. Because I know that's something I hear from people who participate in some of the other events, that it's too much all at once, it's overwhelming. It's so spreading it out over the course of a month is huge. And of course, it's not just any month. It's October, and that's ADHD Awareness Month, which is obviously, kind of the whatever the impetus for the whole thing, which I think is huge. It's awesome. It's really awesome, and it's a great idea. Well, tell us a little bit more about. Go ahead.
Well, my take on ADHD awareness is a little bit different than other people's, because I think the whole concept of ADHD awareness, when it started back in 2004, is to make people in general aware that ADHD exists and what it is. My take is to connect with the people who know they're affected by ADHD, whether they have it or somebody else has it, and have them become more aware of what's out there for help, how to make their life better, who's out there, what's out there. So my take on ADHD awareness is a bit different than the ADHD Awareness Committee or everyone else who might be, other people that might be doing ADHD awareness.
And it's more to connect people with resources?
Yes. To let them know, all right, you have ADHD, what's out there, who can help you? Because there's so much out there, which in one sense is great, but in another sense it's overwhelming. So what I've done is I'm putting it all in one place and introducing people to what's out there for ADHD, because in addition to the 30 videos from leading ADHD experts, there's also exhibit booths, sponsorships where people can see what's out there, what type of help is out there, like books, coaches, programs. So it's not just a conference with the information. It's also letting people know what's out there to help them, what type of resources are available.
It is more than just the education piece. There's a connection element as well. And I think that's really important in our community, right? I mean, so many of us sort of suffer out there, suffer in silence, or feel like we're suffering alone, and that's really not the case. And when you see the volume of resources that are out there, and just what's provided in the Expo, that's got to give you some indication that there are a lot of people out there struggling with the same kinds of things that each person is. So I think that's amazing. It's a wonderful thing that you do every year, and I know it's a lot of work for you.
Yes, it is. But it's worth it. It helps people. As I'm in the middle of planning it, I can say, yes, it's a lot of work. But in the end, it's rewarding because I do help so many people. And when I first found out I had ADD, I felt so isolated, so alone. And, back then there weren't the resources. Now there's like so many resources where, because you can be bombarded and overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of what's out there, you can still feel isolated. So this is putting it together in one place. And, that's the biggest thing I get from people is, thank you. I felt not alone. I felt this sense of community because in addition to the speakers in the exhibit booth, there's also a chat room and, people can connect with each other in there anytime through the expo. Some of the speakers will go in and chat, some of the special guests, the sponsors, but it's that connection of the people with ADHD themselves that can be life-changing.
Absolutely. And I love the chat. I go in there as much as I can, like in between clients and stuff while the expo is going on, because people have questions for one thing.
Yes.
But we have an awesome community. I mean,
we do.
One of the things I love working with people with ADHD is like we're a pretty awesome bunch just in general. Personality, sense of humor, the creativity, all that kind of stuff. And it's just so neat to connect with all these people, and it might not be face-to-face, but in a real-time chat that moves, at the ADHD speed of light. It's just so much fun to connect with people and to really, get questions answered, answer questions for other people, provide and support. I mean, I think that's amazing. I love the chat piece.
And I don't know if either one of us mentioned that it's free. I think I forgot to mention that at the beginning.
Minor
it's
detail,
free,
right?
That's because that's another thing I wanted to give people access, because I know with ADHD, financial issues can be a challenge. So, this is free for people to watch during the month of October. And ADHDexpo.com is how you can find it too. Those are two important things that I forgot to mention. It's no cost when it is. It starts October 1st.
And where it is. Right.
How to find it. Yeah, it's online. And that's the other thing. It's great to go to in-person conferences. I've gone to them over the past 20 years and really benefited from them. But it can be overwhelming to be around hundreds of ADHD people in person. Go to the airport and stuff like that. So there's a place for both. There is a place for in-person conferences, and I know there's one in November out in St. Louis. But this is where people can just, hang out in their pajamas, on their couch, and their slippers, and connect with other people with ADHD and learn the information, because, those in-person conferences are great, but when I go, I take like a month to recover from them.
Absolutely. I literally have to take a few days off on the other end, because it takes me that long to sort of get my, kind of get my wits about me again. It really does. I love them. I love connecting with other professionals, and I love connecting with the participants and hearing all the great information in an in-person, event like that. But it really does take a lot of energy out of me. And that's the expo is awesome. I mean, truth be told, I will be, I'll be sitting there with my tablet on the sofa with my earbuds in while my husband's watching football. I'm catching up on the videos myself, and I'm wearing yoga pants. I'm just saying, nobody needs to see me in yoga pants, but I'm doing it in yoga pants. So that's the beauty of the virtual conference.
Yeah, it is. And I wanted to kind of create that in-person conference or expo experience, kind of virtually. So, you have the people speaking. We have a online goodie bag, which is kind of like the conference bag that, when you go to a conference, there's a bag with all these goodies in there. So that's another thing that we have, and that's free to anyone who signs up. They do have to sign up for it again after they register. But the speakers and the sponsors have donated these tools to this online goodie bag. So there's a lot of moving pieces to this expo, but it's very helpful to people. So it's a little bit of everything out there.
It really is. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I know. I love when people forewarn me, right, when they're going to put me on the spot. What do you want participants to walk away with from the expo?
I think the biggest thing is hope, that there's hope that you don't have to do this alone. There are strategies. There are people that can help you. So hope, a feeling of connectedness, and hopefully action steps. I'm hoping that, after the people listen and watch the videos, that they're going to have at least one action step that they're going to take to improve their lives, to make their life better, to become more successful, to become happier, and to grow as a person.
I love that. It's hard as a presenter to get a lot of information that's going to appeal or apply to a lot of different people into any kind of format when you're doing anything that's sort of global like that. Like, I didn't mean I meant global, metaphorically global. Global is something that applies to so many different people. But that's one of the things that's awesome about this format and this venue is that we're giving you seeds that you can take, you can plant, again, sticking with my metaphors, and turn them into things that can be really helpful for yourself. So a tip, an idea, just the beginning of an idea that's something someone else is doing, something that someone is suggesting, a resource that you can really turn into something that you can make work for you. And sometimes it's the smallest things that can make the biggest difference in our lives. And I think that's huge. And the hope is it's so important, right? Sometimes when you're in the middle of all this ADD, like the procrastination and the poor time management and the punctuality stuff we struggle with, and all of those things can be so hard, and you try so many different things. And, I think every single one of us with ADHD has been at some point in their lives, in a place where they've thought to themselves, I am never going to get this together. But you've got to know that you can. And, if you can pull nothing but hope from this event, I think that alone is huge. It really is.
Yeah.
I always tell my clients, if I can get my stuff together, anybody can, right? If I'm no smarter than the next person, I'm no different than anybody else. And you can figure this stuff out too, and that's a wonderful thing to be able to get from this event.
Yeah, and we do have a mixture of the experts. A lot of them have ADHD themselves and have struggled and have come through it. And some of them will share, their stories about how hard it was for them and that they've managed to come through it, and they're giving back to the community. So that's another piece is a lot of us experts, we have it ourselves. We still struggle sometimes, but we can get through it. There's hope. So that is another piece.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to present. I'm excited to participate. I'm excited to be in the chat room. I'm really looking forward to it. And October will be here before we know it. So anything else you want to share with the listeners?
Oh, yeah, and if you sign up now, if you're listening to this before October 1st, if you sign up at ADHDexpo.com before the expo, there's a pre-event bonus. So there's a surprise bonus. So there is something. You don't actually have to wait until October 1st to find the help and support. That if you sign up now, you'll have access to some surprise bonuses.
Awesome.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much, Tara. Share
thank
again
you, Lynne.
where and when and how and all that good stuff.
Okay. The 9th Annual Online ADHD Awareness Expo, it takes place online. You can sign up at ADHDexpo.com. It's a free event which begins October 1st and runs all the way through October 31st, 2018, and it is a free online event.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing this with us, Tara. Don't forget, you can join us on Facebook in the ADHD Support Talk Facebook group. If you have questions about this episode or any episode, want to share tips, get support, that's where you'll find us. Thanks again for coming, Tara. Really looking forward to the expo.
Thank you.
And thank you all for listening, and we always appreciate your attention. Bye-bye.